something that Wata is apparently just starting to pay attention to. But NWC carts, there's gray ones and there's gold ones. The gold ones are harder to get, much harder to get. I think there was like 10 of them made. I don't even know how many of them are known to exist still to this day. The gray ones were more common. They used those for the World Championship tournaments. And the gold ones you had to win. You had to write into like Nintendo Power or do something with Nintendo Power, and you had to win them. But the gray ones, they were dispersed probably to like other employees. Maybe some like winners from different events got a copy of the gray one. So those ones are floating around. Now, how is it that this sealed Super Mario 64 sold for $1.5 million when the NWC cards, which are way more rare, don't even sell for close to $1 million? It doesn't make any sense.
No.
Now you could say, oh, it has to do with it being sealed, but are these collectors paying for plastic? Are they paying for cellophane that's wrapped around the game? My answer is yes. Do you agree to that?
I agree.
Now think about that. That's fucking crazy. It's baffling, man. Like, comics are different. People keep comparing games to comics. Comics are not the same. A comic book is never sealed. It is open. It's open when you get it. And you put it, maybe you put it in, a plastic with the back or whatever, whatever kind of thing you want to do to preserve your comic book. But they do not come sealed. The condition matters, but you could theoretically pretty much read the entire comic very carefully, put it back in its bag, and nobody would ever know.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me the plastic around that Super Mario 64 is worth more than an NWC card? That is friggin' crazy.
Yeah, we know that a sealed game is always worth more than an open one, but
it is, and it should be because it's new.
Right, but being that the Nintendo World Championship cartridge, there's so few of them, that's crazy.
You guys should go watch Karl Jobst's 2 videos. His name's Karl Jobs. I said Jobst's because I was trying to make it plural. I don't know how the hell to say it plural. His name's Karl Jobst, Jobst. He has 2 different videos out about heritage auctions and Wata, and how there's basically like, essentially they're working together and they're not disclosing stuff, and how there's FTC violations and things like that. And it's pretty clear to me that that's exactly what's happening, that this is market manipulation. Now, this is all supposed. I don't know this for a fact. They haven't gone to court or anything like that. But to me, in my eyes, it's clear what the hell they're doing. They're pumping up the market. They're inflating these prices. And they definitely work together. Like Jim Halpern, who runs Heritage Auctions, he's like the main guy there. He owns a piece of Wata. He owned it from the beginning.
Wow.
And they're when they started working together, Wata was a brand new company. VGA was a company who grades games, who's been around for 10 years. Why would they start working with Wata and not VGA? Because Halpern had an investment into Wata.
Wow.
So Wata makes more money. Heritage Auction makes more money. And there's a whole bunch of other collusion and stuff. I really recommend you guys go watch Karl's videos. They're fantastic, both of them. Highly, highly recommend. I'm not going to get into all the details. He already did that for you. But if you don't think that market manipulation isn't happening, you're crazy. It's clear as day once you watch his videos and he explains to you how these people are intertwined. And he doesn't just explain it, and he's not just saying it off the cuff. He's done research. He pulls out records that have to be disclosed that, this person is involved with Wata. Another guy, like his name was Mark something. He worked for Wata, right? He was a director or something, like some higher position, was buying graded games like before Wata like even became like a really big thing, because he saw what was coming. So he was looking for like common, like Super Mario Brothers, like sealed, bought a whole bunch of them, got them graded through Wata, and then sold them, which according to Dennis Kahn, who is like the president of Wata, you're not allowed to do. You're not allowed to do that as an employee, which makes sense.
Oh, right.
Because it's a conflict of interest.
Correct.
So this dude, not only him, there's a few other people too. It's baffling how they're able to get away with this and how still to this day nothing has happened. So I mean, again, I don't know this for a fact. I'm just telling you my opinion that all those people are bullshitting together and they're inflating this market. If you look at a great thing that Karl did at the end of his second video, I believe it was, he compared the price of a game from VGA to Wata, and it was like significantly cheaper because of the VGA load, like, you know, because it was graded by VGA and not by Wata. That is the market that they created. And the game that they were comparing was of equal or higher grade in VGA compared to the Wata game, which doesn't make any sense.
Well, I wonder where CGC is going to fall, because they just started doing video game grading as well. And CGC in the comic industry is like the well-known, well-respected grading company. They also do trading cards and stuff like that, but they also now started to do video games. So I wonder how they're going to compare and if their prices will be comparable to Wata or VGAs.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. It's that whole thing is a disaster. You guys definitely need to watch those videos about how they, you know, work together to pump up the prices and the clear backroom deals that are happening. So Watt is a grading company. Heritage Auction is an auction house. These two companies stand to gain the most and ethically should not be speculating on the market. Wata gets a percentage of what the game is worth, not a flat rate. So if they're grading a $5 game, they're getting a percentage of that $5 game, which is going to be smaller, right? Mm-hmm. So if the value of games goes up, Wata's prices, they're bringing in more money. That's what happens on Wata's side. Heritage Auctions gets 20% as a buyer's premium. So Wes, if you sold the game and I bought it for $1.5 million, I also owe Heritage Auctions 20% on top of that $1.5 million. So that's a reason for them to want the prices to increase, because they get a percentage. Now, they don't only do that, but what a lot of auction houses don't do is they don't hit the seller. Heritage Auctions also hits the seller with a 5% premium as well.
No, it's all about money, man. It's all about money.
But this is the point, though. Like, this was the point in Karl's videos. Like, they stand the most to gain. And there's clearly, you know, they're clearly working together. I don't care what anybody says. That's my opinion. An opinion, just to be clear, that they're working together and that shady shit's happening.
Which is driving prices up, and it all trickles down because we're all paying for it.
It is. It's ridiculous. Like, I'm as a collector, it's harder and harder for me to collect games, especially old games. Like, I'll still buy new games because I'm used to that. You know, I've always bought new games. You know, I bought used games and old games too, but the prices are just so high now. It's like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you know, and if you are an investor, you know, you're gonna have to spend the money to really make the money. You know, you're gonna spend several $100s for a particular game, and then you're gonna hope that you can get back what you spent plus more. But the way the market is trending,
right, you're speculating on the market. You're speculating that whatever you're investing in is gonna earn you more money, is gonna be more profitable.
It's tricky. It is definitely tricky.